your first yoga session with your Healing Hearts workshop. I'm Abby, and thank you for being here. We are going to go through some breath and movement, and I'm going to be sharing a little bit while you're moving just about something called gracious presence. And one of the things that we've kind of figured out along the journey of healing from grief and loss, or at least working towards healing, is that giving ourselves grace is a really important practice. And so I really want to just impart that on you today as you're taking a little time here to move, to breathe, to be present with yourself, with your body. And so let's get started. We're going to start in child's pose. So here, our toes come to touch, our knees spread wide. We're kind of sitting on our feet here. Forehead can come to the mat, and arms can stretch out over the head, palms on the mat. And just start to breathe here. So inhaling deeply through the nose if you can. And exhaling. Maybe you start to count your breaths. So inhaling for 3 or 4 seconds. And exhaling for the same amount of time. And just see if you can be fully present here. Just letting go of whatever is on your plate today, whatever's on your mind. Letting go of the to-do list of when you get done with this. Just letting all that go and knowing that you are exactly where you need to be right now. Another big breath here. As we're here, I'm going to read a verse or an excerpt to you from John O'Donohue. Grace is the permanent climate of divine kindness. It suggests a compassion and understanding for all the ambivalent and contradictory dimensions of the human experience and pain. This climate of kindness nurtures the sore landscape of the human heart and urges torn ground to heal and become fecund. Grace is the perennial infusion of springtime into the winter of bleakness. So as you think on that throughout this practice, I hope you feel and sense that grace that is there for you, the grace from God that He wants to give you, and the grace He wants you to have for yourself. So on your next inhale, come up to a tabletop position. The hands will be underneath the shoulders, knees under the hips. And start to move here, awakening the spine. Inhaling, dropping the belly and lifting the gaze for cow. And then on your exhale, pressing the spine to the sky, dropping the head and neck for cat. And here, just moving with your own breath, inhaling and exhaling. Taking any little movements that would feel good. Maybe you want to reach towards the right, looking back towards the right foot. Maybe you want to reach towards the left side. Maybe making big circles with the body, moving the spine in all directions, and breathing here. And then when you come to a stationary tabletop position, we'll press back into a downward facing dog. So the hands are spread wide. The feet are about hip width distance apart, pressing the hips towards the sky. The heels reach towards the mat. If you ever need to just look at the video to see what this looks like, this is why I'm doing it here for you too. So here, maybe bending one knee and the other, awakening the legs. And you can have both knees bent here as much as you need to. Just so you know, nothing should hurt in yoga. If there's anything that's painful, I want you to just notice and back out of it. Some things might be a little uncomfortable. So here, look to the top of your mat and slowly walk your feet to meet your hands. And then fold forward. So here your knees can be bent again as much as you need to. Letting the head and neck hang heavy here. The arms can be grazing the mat, or the fingers, I should say. And just letting go here. Letting go of tension and stress. Maybe shaking the head yes and no. And always, always breathing. So on your next inhale, slowly start to rise up one vertebra at a time. Inhaling, rising up to mountain pose. Mountain pose is just standing with your palms by your side, facing forward. And see if you can release the back. So sometimes we hold tension in the shoulders and the neck and the back, upper back. See if you can let go of some of that tension here and just breathe, taking in that grace. Inhale, the arms come up, biceps by the ears for extended mountain pose. And then if you want, you can take a little mini back bend here, keeping the arms up and reaching back, maybe gazing at the sky. And then exhale, forward fold. Hands can come through heart center all the way down to the mat. Again, bending your knees here as much as you need to. Inhale, come up to halfway lift. So you're bringing your hands up to the shins, making a flat back here. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up again for extended mountain pose. And exhale, fold all the way down. Here we're going to come back into our down dog position. So coming into down dog, maybe bending one leg and the other again, waking everything up. On the inhale, we'll reach the right leg back. So reaching the toes towards the sky. And exhale, bring your foot in between the hands for lunge. So here you can bring the back knee down, or you can be on the back toe. The foot should be right in between the hands, and your knee will be in line with the ankle here. Arms will rise up for crescent. So here, this can be a challenging posture at any time. If you need to come down on your knee, it's totally fine. Just giving yourself grace. And then we're going to open up to the left side. So our arms are going to open. The hips are going to stay forward in the lunge. Arms open up, opening the wingspan, opening the heart, and breathing here. Then inhale, arms rise back to center. And exhale, open the arms up to the right. So again, hips are facing forward still and arms are open. Breathing. Inhale, back up. Arms come up, biceps are by the ears. And exhale, bring the hands to heart center. And your hands can come down to the inside of the foot on the mat. So both hands are on the inside of the foot. The right foot is going to reach out a little bit, kind of walking its way to the outside corner of the mat. The back knee can come down for runner's lunge. This is a good stretch here. It might be a little uncomfortable. Just make sure you don't have any pain here. And then coming back up into our crescent lunge. And then exhale, come down. We'll come back to our down dog. On your next inhale, raise the left leg high, left toes reach towards the sky. And exhale to lunge. The foot comes between the hands here. Remember bringing the back knee down if you need to, or staying on the toe. And on the inhale, rising up for crescent lunge on this side. We're going to open up the arms again here once you're stable and steady. So on your next exhale, open to the right side of the body for a little twist. Breathing, inhaling that grace. Inhale back up to center and exhale open to the left side. Breathing here. Inhale back up to center. And exhale down, hands come to the inside of the left foot now for runner's lunge on this side. So the back knee can come down if it's not down already, walking the left foot to the outside corner of the mat. Just being present here in this posture. See if you can think about sending your breath to the areas of tension. And then inhale, rise back up to crescent. And exhale to downward dog. Now here we'll come into a child's pose again. So knees come to the mat. Sitting on the knees, knees can be wide, forehead comes to the mat, arms overhead. Coming back to the breath here. In the very beginning of my grieving process, I really struggled with energy. I really struggled with motivation, which caused me to feel kind of bad. I felt like I should be able to do stuff. I should be getting back to work and being productive, but something just is stopping me, and it was. Grief has a way of affecting our bodies, and as you'll hear in the audio session that I share, just some of the ways that grief can affect the body. It is physical, yes, it's emotional too, but sometimes we're feeling it in our gut, we're feeling it in our heart, we're feeling it maybe through sore muscles or just aching body and trouble sleeping and trouble eating in the sense of appetite. And so one of the things that I learned is that it's really important to give myself grace. And I'm thankful for the people who shared that with me. So we just want to share that with you today, that it is wise to give yourself grace in this time. There are a lot of ways to think of grace, but in this instance, I'm thinking of it as a special favor or giving someone kindness or courtesy or more than they might deserve or think that they deserve. So in this instance, giving grace to ourselves means having patience with ourselves. It means having compassion for ourselves. And during this time of grieving, we need compassion for ourselves and also for other people. So this is why I wanted to bring this up during this class. Just giving yourself grace. What would that look like in your day-to-day life? How might that be available to you, and how might you intentionally give yourself grace through this healing process? Maybe it looks like giving yourself extra time in the morning to sleep or to go slow. Maybe it looks like giving yourself space and time to move your body and breath on a yoga mat, or go for a walk, or spend some time in reading and prayer. Whatever it might be, just knowing yourself, knowing what you need, or maybe you don't even know what you need, but giving yourself the opportunity to find out what you need during this time and giving that to yourself will be so healing. So from here, coming up to a tabletop position, again, taking some cat-cow movements, moving the body in whatever ways feels good. Back to your breath, inhaling with one posture and exhaling with another movement. It can be a great way to reconnect to our bodies. On your next exhale, press back into a downward facing dog. Here, just notice if it feels a little different from before. If it doesn't, that's fine. If it's still challenging, that's normal. And then reach your right toes to the sky again. And exhale to lunge. Foot comes between the hands. This time we're going to rise up and open our arms to the left, opening into Warrior Two. So here your right foot is facing forward, your left foot is at a 45-degree angle, and your arms are spanning, making one long line from fingertip to fingertip. So again, just looking at me if you've never done Warrior Two before. And then inhale, reverse warrior. So we're going to reach the right hand back towards the back corner of the room where the ceiling and the wall meet. Breathing here, feeling the stretch, noticing where in the body you feel this. And then exhale back to Warrior Two. And then bringing the back foot to meet the front foot, coming to standing at the top of our mat. Arms come up overhead for extended mountain pose here. We're going to go into a balancing posture here. This is called tree. So we're going to plant the right foot, and the left foot is going to come to either the ankle, the calf, or the thigh. So balancing on one foot, your hands can be at heart center here. You can start this way and then express your hands in whatever way you feel like. Maybe you bring them overhead, opening the heart, reaching towards the sky. Maybe you like to keep them at heart center. The important thing here is that you do not have your foot on your knee. You want to have it below or above the knee, just for protection. And another thing to keep in mind is it might help your focus and your balance if you can find a spot in front of you that's not moving. Maybe it's something on the wall, just so that you can stay here for a little bit. And if you need to, you can find a wall and put one hand on the wall to help you balance. It's important to keep breathing here and giving yourself grace. So when you're ready to release, you can let go of that posture, shake it out if you need to. And then we'll come back down to the mat into our down dog. So here on the inhale, lift the left leg high and exhale it through to lunge. Foot comes between the hands. Inhale, rise up to Warrior Two. So this time you're opening the hands and the arms to the right. So your left foot's pointing forward, knee is bent over the ankle, arms are wide and strong. On the inhale, reverse your warrior. So the left hand reaches back towards the back corner of the room. Breathing here. And then coming up into Warrior Two again. And then here we're going to bring the weight into the left foot, bring the right foot back to meet the left at the top of your mat. For tree on this side. So here finding some good grounding in the left foot, bringing the right foot to the ankle, the calf, or the thigh. And this side might feel a little different. See if you can be strong in the standing leg here and breathe, experimenting with where you'd like your hands to be. I had a friend say to me once that the God who holds the stars holds your heart. And it made me think of Psalm 147. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. He determines the number of stars and calls them each by name. So here, feel free to release, shaking out the legs and the hands if you'd like. And coming back to your mat, we're going to come into a plank position. So hands will be under the shoulders. Feet are about hip-width distance apart, and you're making one long line with the spine. This takes a lot of energy here. Coming down to your knees might be a better option if it's just too much today. So from here, we're going to lower all the way down with control to the belly. You can bend the knees here and windshield wiper the legs if you like, maybe bringing one cheek to the mat. And from here, we're going to reach back towards our feet. So if your hands can grab your feet, the tops of your feet, we're going to do floor bow. This is a good spine strengthening posture. Here you can take a big inhale and exhale it all out. And on your next inhale, kick into the hands, reaching back with the shoulders and breathing here. Breathing here. And then when you're ready to slowly release, let go of the feet, let your legs and arms come to the mat. Opposite cheek can come to the mat. And windshield wiper the legs again if you'd like. Slowly making your way back to a tabletop position. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. We're going to reach our right arm out. Having a little balance here. If you'd like more of a challenge, you can start to reach the left leg back, pressing into the hand and knee, making one long line from the foot to the hand. And then bring it back to tabletop. We'll reach the left arm out, right leg back. Holding the belly in. See if you can kind of squeeze belly into spine and breathe. And then coming back to a tabletop position. We'll do a couple more down dogs. So from here, pressing into your down dog. Bringing the right leg back. We're going to come into a pigeon pose. So this is a challenging but also restorative posture. Bringing the right knee towards the right wrist, right ankle towards the left wrist. The back knee comes down. The foot can come down as well in the back. So here, this is a really deep hip opener and hip stretch. You can keep your hands on the mat, or if it's available to you and you want to come a little lower, just coming down to the forearms. Maybe you rest your head on the mat. Maybe that's not an option for you. Either way, just being present here, breathing through any discomfort. This can be a vulnerable posture. Some of the emotions can be brought up in this posture for some reason. And if that happens, just know that it's totally okay. You're okay and you're allowed to feel whatever you feel. And that's part of the healing process, is feeling and allowing ourselves to feel what we need to. When you're ready, you can slowly make your way back into a down dog, whatever way that you need to. Maybe shake out the right leg, and then lifting the left leg up, bringing it through for pigeon on this side. Left knee to left wrist, left ankle to right wrist. Back knee comes down. This side might feel a little different. It's totally normal. Again, breathing into that space that feels tight or tense. Breathing in grace. When you feel even, you can come out of this posture, kicking maybe back into a three-legged down dog with the left leg out, shake it out a little bit, and then come to seated on your mat. We're going to do a couple folds on the mat. So first, you can bring the left leg out, the right foot will come to the inside of the thigh. Right knee is bent. Inhale, the arms come up. And exhale, fold over that left leg. Maybe you have your knee bent here. Maybe you're letting your head and your neck hang here so you get a stretch in the back. Taking whatever posture you need here. And then rising up, we'll switch sides. The right leg extends, the left knee bends, and the foot comes to the inside of the thigh. Arms come up and exhaling over the right leg. Breathing. When you feel even coming up on this side, soles of feet can come together in front of you. And we'll do one more fold here. Arms coming up overhead on the inhale, and exhale, fold forward. Now here you can experiment with where your feet are. If you want more of a leg and hip stretch, you can bring them closer. If you want to be able to fold a little bit more, you can push the feet out farther in front of you for a wider butterfly. And then slowly rising back up. We're going to make our way to lying on the mat. So coming to your back, hugging the knees into the chest, maybe giving yourself a little mini back massage by rolling around a little bit. Letting both knees fall to the left side of the body. Your arms can tee out, or they can be like goalposts. And your gaze can go the opposite direction if that feels okay for you. Letting your breath go back to normal. Noticing where you feel this. This is called a supine twist. Inhaling back up to center, hugging the knees in again. and then letting them fall to the right side of the body. Gaze can go the opposite direction if you'd like. When you feel even, hugging the knees back in. Taking any other posture that might feel good here. Maybe you grab the toes for a happy baby. Kicking out if you'd like. Moving around a little bit. Maybe you cross one leg over the other and pull the feet towards you. Just find whatever posture here feels best for you before we go into our final resting pose. When you're ready to release, you can let your legs come to the mat, arms can come by your side, fully relaxing here if possible. So the goal of Shavasana, which is the final resting pose, is to relax everything, letting go of even the smallest muscle tension. So here, seeing if you can release the tension from the back of your eyes, from your forehead, releasing any tension from your jaw. See if you can let your shoulders fully melt into the mat. Remembering here the ways that you might be able to give yourself more grace today and in the coming days as you work through your healing. I'll read again this passage from John O'Donohue. Grace is the permanent climate of divine kindness. It suggests a compassion and understanding for all the ambivalent and contradictory dimensions of the human experience and pain. This climate of kindness nurtures the sore landscape of the human heart and urges torn ground to heal and become fecund. Grace is the perennial infusion of springtime into the winter of bleakness. My hope for you is that you feel that grace, that you feel the God who made the stars holding your heart, and you feel His kindness and compassion over you during this time, and that through that you might be able to give more compassion and kindness to yourself, and through that the land of your heart that feels torn and desolate would become healed and beautiful again. Thank you for taking the time to move and to breathe. You're welcome to stay in this posture as long as you need to. Thank you for being here. Shalom.